I fear not the dark itself, but what may lurk within it. Welcome to Lurk, bringing you creepy, strange, and bone-chilling stories, with your host, Jamie Jackson.
Hey lurkers, welcome to this week's episode. This week we're heading south to Texas to check out a haunted hotel. Before we get started, I'm going to apologize. My voice is a little funky. I have been sick for over a week, which delayed me recording the podcast. I still have a cough, so hopefully I can get through the episode without too much trouble. So as I said, we're headed to Texas. Specifically, we're heading to Austin, which is in the Texas Hill Country. I have been there before, many moons ago, like 27, 28 years ago. Our story begins with a man by the name of Jesse Driskill, who moved to Texas in 1849. He entered the cattle business in 1857, and in 1869, he moved his wife Nancy and their 4 daughters and 2 sons to Austin. At the time, Austin was the westernmost city in Texas. Driskill made and lost a fortune selling cattle to the Confederacy during the Civil War and earned the honorary title of colonel. In 1872, Austin became the capital of Texas. By 1880, Colonel Driskill becomes a wealthy cattle baron, established businessman, and an active civic leader, well known throughout the region. So he decides to build a luxurious hotel in Austin, one that would rival the palaces of New York, Chicago, St. Louis, and San Francisco. In 1884, he purchased a lot at the corner of Brazos and Pecan, whichever, which was later named 6th Street, for $7,500. The Driskill Hotel became the talk of the town, and in 1886 it had its grand opening and was called one of the finest hotels in the whole country. The venture cost was estimated at $400,000, and today that would be nearly $13.5 million. In January 1887, less than 2 weeks after the grand opening, the Driskill Hotel hosts its first inaugural ball for the newly elected Governor Ross and established a tradition. Several governors held their inaugural balls there. In May of 1887, the general manager and half of the staff was hired away by the Galveston Hotel, and the Driskill closed. There was some allegation that Driskill blew his earnings on booze, women, and gambling, and had no choice but to forfeit ownership of the hotel, because he lost the deed in a poker game. But there were some other reports saying that wasn't the case. In May of 1888, the new owner, the colonel's brother-in-law, Doc Day, makes sure the hotel is set up to be the premier site for lavish parties and events. 2 years later, in 1890, Colonel Jesse Driskill dies of a stroke, and 4 months after that, a life-size portrait of Driskill was purchased and hung in the hotel. The hotel changes hands several times from this point on. 1893, Doc Day trades the hotel for a California vineyard and ranch plus $14,000 in cash. 1894, the hotel is sold at auction for $76,000 to New York investors, then resold for $75,000 to British holders of its mortgage. In 1895, Major George Littlefield, cattle baron, banker, president of the Texas Rangers, acquires the hotel for $106,000 in cash and becomes the 5th owner. He vows the hotel will never close again. Littlefield has renovations done that cost more than $60,000. That includes electric lighting, steam heating, 28 bathrooms with tubs, and electric fans in each room. A bank also opens in the lobby. In 1903, Littlefield sells the hotel at a loss of more than $25,000 to Edward Sealing. A barbershop and women's spa open up in the storefront facing 6th Street in 1909. It sported 8 chairs and numerous electric baths supplied by the hotel's own artesian well. Relaxing in the healing sulfur baths, or Turkish baths as they're called, became a popular attraction. So did visiting the psychic healers and purchasing elixirs from the medicine man that set up shop in the hotel. September 1934, Lyndon Baines Johnson meets his future wife, Lady Bird, and they have their first date at the hotel. They met in the dining room for breakfast. In 1948, Johnson waited for election results at a suite in the hotel for his Senate election. In 1964, he awaited the results of the presidential election. The Driskill served as headquarters for White House press corps, and a suite was permanently reserved for the now President Lyndon B. Johnson. The Driskill closed for complete renovation June 1969, but plans fell through, and at that point, complete demolition of the hotel was imminent. But a 1970 Save the Driskill campaign raised enough funds to save the hotel. There are several grand reopening galas in 1973. The hotel again goes through several owners and renovations, and in 2013 the Hyatt assumes management. The Driskill Hotel is listed on the National Registry of Historic Places, and it's considered the most haunted hotel in the state of Texas. There are several ghosts known to hotel employees and the guests. One of them, often referred to as the Cowboy, is none other than Colonel Jesse Driskill himself. Driskill was known to enjoy a good cigar, and his presence is usually indicated by the smell of a cigar in the area. One night, a consultant was staying at the hotel in a room overlooking 6th and Brazos. The man woke up one night to see a gentleman standing in his room. The man was looking out the window around 3 a.m., smoking a cigar. The consultant sat up in bed and said, "Hey fella, what the hell are you doing in my room?" The figure looked at the consultant, gave him an arrogant look like, "Your room," and said nothing. The consultant turned on the bedside light, but when the light came on, no one was there. But the curtains were still swaying gently, and the smell of cigar smoke lingered in the air. By the way, the hotel is a smoke-free hotel, so there's no chance that you're actually smelling a cigar because they're not allowed. The Cowboy is so named because he is seen wearing 19th century cowboy clothing. And Driskill is still quite the ladies' man even in death, as he most often appears to women. He's known to touch women on the arm or back, and has shown himself to many female musicians. In fact, there are 2 notable musicians he has interacted with. Annie Lennox of the Eurythmics was getting ready for a show. She had laid out 2 outfits on the bed and then went in to take a shower. When she came out of the bathroom, one of the outfits had been put away. Annie said Driskill must have had a strong opinion on what she should wear. And then Johnette Napolitano of Concrete Blonde wrote the song "Ghost of a Texas Ladies' Man" after a night of enduring Driskill's ghostly antics. She had the experience during an overnight stay at the Driskill Hotel in March 1991, while the band was on tour as the opening act for Sting. Napolitano revealed to the Detroit Free Press in 1992, "There's this horny ghost there that goes for women. I want to see you naked." That was his vibe. The minute I took my clothes off, I felt like there was someone watching me. She added to the Austin American-Statesman, "He kept turning the lights on and off in my room. I finally unplugged all the lamps. Then he turned on the light in the closet and really slowly opened the closet door, just like a hand was opening it." The light in the closet shined out into the room onto the bed. Then I knew for sure he was there. I just said, "I know you're here, but I know that you're not going to hurt me, so I'm going to go to sleep now." I just got this feeling of amusement, like he was playing. He was just like a rascal. It was like a game. I guess I'm lucky he was in a good mood. After her experience, Napolitano felt inspired to write something funny. Sadly, I can't play the song for you because I would be charged with, I don't know, whatever it is. It's a royalties thing. I can't play music unless I pay for it. I will post a link to the music video on Facebook page, so you can check that out. But I will read the lyrics to you. They go, "I saw a face in the shower door. Cowboy smile came and faded. I reached for my towel on the floor. I didn't think it was exactly where I'd laid it. You don't scare me, you don't scare me," I said, to whatever it was floating in the air about my bed. He knew I'd understand. He was the ghost of a Texas ladies' man. I reached to turn out the light. He wouldn't let me get near it. He seemed so glad to see a woman in the flesh, and I really liked his spirit. "You don't scare me, you don't scare me," I cried, to my ectoplasmic lover from the other side. He knew I understand. He was the ghost of a Texas ladies' man. I actually have this song in one of my playlists. I added it years ago, before I even knew the story. I know that's probably shocking, and it was very difficult to not completely sing that song. You're welcome. The next famous ghostly visitors are the brides, the ghosts of two separate jilted brides who ended their lives at the hotel. The first bride is from the 1940s. She hanged herself after her groom canceled the wedding at the last minute. Her ghost is seen roaming the hallways on the 4th floor. She's often seen by guests who were there to attend a wedding or wedding shower or bachelorette party. She's been seen in the bathroom on the balcony level. One woman went to use the bathroom, and the bride apparition looked over the stall door at her. The woman yelled, and her husband rushed in, and as he entered, he felt someone invisible brush past him. There was no one else in the bathroom with his wife. In the same balcony ladies' room early one evening, a woman went in to use it while her friends waited outside. The woman was shocked to see a woman with dark hair looking up at her from under the stall door. She asked the odd woman what she was doing. The woman vanished, and there was the strong scent of roses. When the woman left the bathroom and rejoined her friends, she told them about what happened. Her friends assured her that no one had gone in or come out of the bathroom. It's supposed to be good luck to see bride number 1, but I don't really want to see her looking under or over the bathroom stall while I'm going number 1. Or I might do number 2. You're welcome for the added potty humor. That particular bathroom is also the site of an apparition of a severed head. Allegedly, it's the head of a prostitute who was murdered over 100 years ago. She was chased into the bathroom by an angry customer and decapitated by a straight razor. I couldn't find any information that actually backed that up, so I can't say that that's a true story, but there you go. Bride number 2 is a more recent bride, 1990 to be precise. When her fiancé called off the wedding, or was caught cheating, I've seen both explanations, this bride decided to go on her honeymoon anyway, with her ex's credit card. She went on a shopping spree and a culinary free-for-all that lasted a week, and she blew over $40,000. She lined up all of her purchases next to the bed, entered the tub in the bathroom, and shot herself in the stomach using a pillow to muffle noise. Her body was discovered 3 days after she was last seen, when housekeeping grew concerned that she hadn't left her room to eat. Guests now see her towing bags up and down the hall. She's most often seen in the month of October. She appeared to 2 guests one night. The 2 women were checking things out in the hotel. Basically, they were looking for ghosts on the fourth floor that was under renovation at the time and had no one staying on the floor. Nothing was going on, and as they prepared to head out, the elevator doors opened and out stepped a woman carrying packages. The woman stepped out of the elevator and walked past the two women without even looking at them, and she continued down the hall. The two women decided to follow. They called out to the woman, but when they turned a corner, they watched her enter a room without opening the door. The two women went down to the lobby and checked with the front desk, but the person there assured them that no one was checked into any rooms on the fourth floor, because walking through a closed door wasn't an indication that it wasn't a real person. There's also the ghost of a child at the Driskill Hotel and a painting associated with her. The child is believed to be the daughter of a senator. The little girl was playing with a ball near the top of the staircase when the ball got away from her. She leaned too far to try and grab it and fell down the steps to her death. Now employees and guests hear the sound of a bouncing ball and a child's giggles in the area of the staircase. There's a painting that's associated with the little girl. The painting's located on the 5th floor of the hotel. It is an unnamed painting said to be based on a painting by Charles Garland called Love Letter. It's an unnerving piece painted by Richard King and depicts the 4-year-old daughter of U.S. Senator Houston, who died at the hotel. The painting said to be haunted. People who walk by it feel the presence of something some call evil, saying it rides their coattails until they leave the building. If you stare at the painting, you might catch a glimpse of the girl's expression changing. Others have felt ill when looking at it, and some have talked about a strange feeling of being levitated. The Driskill also has a presidential ghost hanging around. The hotel was always a very special place to Lady Bird and Lyndon B. Johnson. They had their very first date there. LBJ waited out election results for his Senate election and again for his presidential election, so it really isn't a surprise that part of them would remain. Guests in the ballroom of the hotel have seen the reflection of Lyndon B. Johnson and his wife in the mirrors, or see them out of the corner of their eye. In addition to the ghosts of American presidents, there is also the presence of a Mexican empress. Empress Carlotta of Mexico was a princess of Belgium who married Emperor Maximilian. Maximilian was executed, and Carlotta ended up going mad. There were 8 gold-framed mirrors that were meant to be belated wedding gifts for the emperor and empress, and they managed to make their way to the Driskill Hotel. They were installed in what is now called the Maximilian Room. Guests and staff have reported eerie experiences and sightings of Carlotta as a ghost woman in a white gown appearing in the mirrors and then vanishing. Another named ghost is that of Peter J. Lawless. Lawless worked as a ticket agent for the Great Northern Railroad. When his wife died, he moved into the Driskill Hotel and lived there from 1888 to 1916. He stayed even when the hotel was closed for renovations and had his own key to the front door. He is most often spotted on the 5th floor near the elevators. When the door opens, he's seen checking his pocket watch. He also greets the staff at the front desk before vanishing. Then there's the ghost of Mrs. Bridge, the former hotel secretary. Mrs. Bridge worked at the hotel in the early 1900s for many years. Now she's seen late at night fussing over invisible flower arrangements in the lobby, wearing a long Victorian dress. She's also seen walking from the vault to the middle of the lobby where the old front desk used to be. A woman shared a story from her stay at the Driskill. She had ordered room service, and once she was done, she packed everything up on the tray and placed it out in the hallway to the right of her door. As she turned to go back into the room, a man walked past. The man seemed preoccupied and didn't look at her. He was facing straight ahead, so she was looking at his side. He seemed to be in his late 30s, wore a white, long-sleeved and collared shirt and tie with black button-up vest and black pants. He had short, dark hair, and she heard his footsteps and felt air movement as he went by. She thought it was pretty neat that he was dressed in an old-fashioned way. She thought it was done to expand on the hotel's charm. But chills engulfed her as she realized the man had just walked into a wall. She went back in her room and turned on all the lights and the TV. She searched the internet and discovered photos of waiters from the Driskill Hotel in the 1800s. Their attire matched what the apparition was wearing. A chambermaid has been seen by many guests and most of the employees. She goes from room to room cleaning things that aren't there and turning lights on and off and turning the water on and off in the bathroom. There are many other hauntings not associated with any specific person. Housekeepers have reported elevator doors opening without pushing the button, and inside the elevator, the button for their intended floor has been pushed without them doing it. The elevators also run constantly without any passengers, at least not ones people can see. Maintenance on the elevators can find no cause for this. Hotel staff has heard the sounds of noisy crowds of people talking and laughing, and when they go to see what's going on, they find the area empty. Construction workers who were hired to do renovations talked about misplaced tools and disembodied footsteps and faces appearing in elevator mirrors. One worker quit after seeing two transparent people walking towards them. A security guard smelled cigar smoke and went in search for the culprit. He didn't find anyone, but heard a voice ask him for a light, which was most likely Colonel Driskill. The old bank vault door has been seen blowing open and swinging closed, even though it's too heavy to be affected by simple drafts. Guests have complained of being pushed out of bed, and furniture is sometimes moved around. Allegedly, maids have etched crosses in the windows to signify that that particular room is haunted. Should I ever have the chance to visit and stay at the Driskill Hotel, I would definitely request a room with a cross etched in the window. Rooms there start at about $350 a night, with some showing over $700. So I probably won't be staying there anytime in the near future. And that is going to do it for this episode. You can find episodes on your favorite podcast app or on the website at lurkpodcast.com. You can not only find all of our episodes on the website, but also social media links, our blog, and a place to sign up for our monthly newsletter. There's also a place to share your personal paranormal encounters, so please share. And until next time, keep lurking.